There is nothing I hate more than this mindset. And I know you want to instantly know, oh, Chris, what mindset is this? What mindset is this? And I'll get to that in just a second. The mindset that I'm on about is the victim mindset. One that plagued me and still plagues so many people is the mindset where we are just so powerless to the world around us that we're always getting our asses handed to us. We're always getting shafted by the globe and every single opportunity that it has to shaft us. I don't think that's true. I think that mindset is very weak, like just incredibly weak. And I had this mindset for a long time, and I believed that everything was always other people's fault. I always believed that if I failed an exam, it was because my teacher didn't teach something. If I missed the bus, it was because the bus driver was a dickhead and didn't just wait like 5 seconds for me to get on the bus. I had the mindset that no matter what, I was at the whims of other people. I was at the whims of the world. I was just a leaf blowing in the wind, and there was nothing I could do about it. That's only true if you believe it, because you give power to what you blame. And it's very easy to blame others, because blaming ourselves is difficult, right? Yeah, I could have studied harder. Yeah, I could have been at the bus 5 minutes, 10 minutes earlier. But that's not what a lot of people do. For some reason, we have it as kind of like a defense mechanism to point the finger and blame someone else and just say, oh yeah, it's that guy's fault, or it's that person's fault, or it's that person's fault. Or then we end up blaming our circumstances. So, oh, I couldn't study because my house is really noisy, or oh, it was raining, so there were so many cars on the road, and then I was late to work. And by the time we get to ourselves, we've kind of unloaded all that blame. By the time we get to ourselves, we're like, no, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, I've pointed out what everyone else has done, so therefore I'm fine. Like, I didn't do anything, lol. Like, look at everyone else. They did all the issues, and it was the sky was raining, and anyway. In reality, it should be the other way around. When something bad happens, we should instantly not blame ourselves, but realize what we could have done better. Because ultimately, we can only control ourselves, right? We can tell the teacher exactly what to teach us. We can, like, email the bus driver, sending him, like, bomb threats if he leaves the bus station 5 minutes early. But we can't control the external world around us, right? We can only control ourselves and our actions. So in that case, if I fail an exam, I'm thinking to myself, what did I do wrong? Did I study? Well, I failed, so probably not. Could I have studied better? Well, I failed, so probably yes. Could I have moved environment? So could I have gone to a cafe? Could I have gone to a library? Could I have gone to the moon? Could I have, I don't know, done something useful with that time? And the answer would be, well, yes, I could have. When you realize that, you realize like the power's in your hands. Imagine there's like, I don't know, some power in my hands. I don't know. 50,000 powers and Rise of Kingdoms. And when you have that power, you take it for yourself. You're not unloading it to other people. You're like, oh, man, yeah, it sucks to be like, I could have done better. I could have done more. But then you realize, oh, wait, I can do better. I can do more. It's now you've realized that, oh yeah, I made a mistake. You have now learned from mistake. Now take action on said mistake, and you won't make said mistake again, or you're very unlikely to make same mistake again. And that's incredible. You realize that, oh wait, these issues that I've got, these problems, these, things that are going wrong in my life, I actually have control over them. The issue with this kind of victim mindset as well is that it comes to the problems that we have. So sometimes we really do think that the issues that we have are the absolute pinnacle of issues around the world. It's dubbed, first world problems for a reason. And I think it's important to realize how good a lot of us have it. The fact that you got a detention because you didn't do your homework, some people genuinely wish that was their biggest problem. Some people genuinely wish that they didn't get the last mythic, legendary thing on the fucking Fortnite Battle Pass. When that level of just meaningless slot is your biggest issue, you realize how privileged you are. And I understand coming from me, like I'm a 6 foot tall, white, handsome guy from the UK, which has free healthcare. Whether or not you think the healthcare is good is down to personal opinion. And some people will say, easy for you to say because you've got it so good. And I'd say to them, easy for you to say because you've got it so good compared to someone else. It's very easy for us to be like, man, I wish I was Jeff Bezos with all his money. Man, I wish I was Elon Musk with all his money. Man, I wish I was maybe not that last one, but we understand that, okay, someone has it better. Sucks, but someone will always have it better. But someone always has it worse. Do you have to travel miles to get filthy water? Because if you don't get it, you're just going to die of dehydration? That water containing things like cholera and animal waste? Answer's probably no if you're watching this. Do you have to hunt for your own food? Do you have to travel miles by foot to get to school or to work? Are you currently in danger of your own life? And if you're watching this, the answer is probably no. I understand that everyone has their own issues. I'm currently going through some issues, and we're all going through issues in one way or another. But when we actually put it into perspective and we realize, oh shit, there are people who are currently fearing for their lives somewhere in the world because they are under dictatorship. Or dictatorship? Yes, they're under dictatorship. Or they're in a war. Or there's no central kind of healthcare systems. And like, if they get stabbed by a rusty nail, they die in 4 months. Like, you know, it's like set in stone. And when we realize this, it kind of makes us understand that our problems, although personal problems, I'm not like, you know, saying, oh, you shouldn't be upset about your problems. Obviously, go fix them. But when you think about it, in the grand scheme of things, you actually realize that they're quite small. They could be so much worse. That's kind of empowering, because you realize instead of it being this like huge, like all the way to the top problem, it's now actually like kind of down here, and you're like, oh, actually, me failing this test in the grand scheme of life, in the grand scheme of problems all around the world, isn't that big of a deal. It isn't that big of an issue. And it's hard to get that. It's hard to kind of have that mindset. It takes a lot of time to unlearn your victim mindset, and then from there, build upon this kind of more positive mindset, this mindset of, okay, I have these problems. Yes, it sucks. Yes, my girlfriend broke up with me. Yes, I feel like I'm not good enough at certain things. Yes, I sometimes look in the mirror and I feel fat, or I feel like really skinny, and that's kind of a problem. But then when I put it into the grand scheme of things, I'm like, okay, yeah, these suck for me. It could also be like 1,000 times worse though. You know, I have all my limbs. I know you go, there's it like that. I have all my limbs. I have a functioning brain. I have all my senses. Like, by that kind of standard, you're already winning the kind of life lottery as far as like RNG goes for life. It's very easy to kind of slip into the negative mindset because we're kind of bombarded all the time with negativity, especially in the news. The first thing my dad does when he wakes up is watches the news. He like instantly goes downstairs, turns on the news. I couldn't imagine anything worse to do right in the morning, because I'm already like groggy, like, oh, I'm starting to wake up, and then you turn on the news, it's like, oh yeah, 50,000 people have just died overnight because of massive earthquake. It's like, oh, it's a great way to start my day. And it doesn't mean that these things don't happen, because obviously they do. You got to be aware of, you know, kind of, can you do anything to help that? And then from there, is listening to that stuff all the time going to help you? And listening to that stuff all the time is not going to help you. It's not going to make you feel better. It's not going to make your life improve. It's going to make you feel like shit. When you feel like shit, you're like, oh, well, you feel like shit. There's nothing really more about it. But to kind of wrap this up in a nice, neat, tidy bow, we tend to always want more. And wanting more is fine. Wanting better is fine. But we've also got to look back kind of from where we've come from and what we've been through in a way, but also look at what other people are currently going through and appreciate what we have now, and also be, right, I want this, I want better. I'm not happy with what I have, but it could be much worse. So I'm grateful for what I have, and I am still going to go for that. It's just a different mindset shift. You can want more and still be grateful for what you have. They're not kind of mutually exclusive things. They're two sides of the same coin. You know, wanting more is kind of a very human thing. We're very greedy by nature. But when you lose kind of track of how good you actually have it, that's when it's a problem. Because when the tiny, smallest things, like you don't get 2 pumps of caramel in your pumpkin spice latte and then you have a meltdown and your entire day's ruined because of it. Maybe some gratitude and a different perspective change could be the difference between you actually having a way more happier, way more fulfilling life kind of in general. So remember, yes, Jeff Bezos, yes, Elon Musk, not Jeffrey Epstein, may have it better, but there are thousands, millions, if not billions of people on the planet who have it way, way worse.